The Middle East isn't just any part of the world. Too much money flows through it, too much oil moves through it, too many alliances depend on it, and too many enemies operate in this region. And you know the crazy part? A conflict can actually erupt miles away in the Middle East, and then gas prices start rising in completely different parts of the world. That's how powerful this region is. And then at a point, the United States realized something very dangerous. If the Middle East is always unstable, the effect don't stay there. It spreads very fast to every other part of the world. And somehow this realization had made the United States to be pulled in into this region such that living is not that simple. And this whole thing happened when oil became one of the most important resources on earth. Cars needed it, factories needed it, airplanes needed it, entire economies depended on it. And guess what? The Middle East happened to be one of the major regions with the highest deposits. So it's not a region that you can just exclude from the world. That's how tense global politics can be, because one region starts controlling something that the modern world cannot completely function without. And then there was another problem, the Cold War. During the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union was competing for global power and dominance. Talk about Europe, Asia, Africa, Latin America. And in all of this, the Middle East became one of the biggest strategic prizes on the planet. And then America started building friendships there very carefully. We're talking about military alliances, political alliances, and then economic deals and partnerships. And then the goal was simple, to keep their rival from gaining dominance there. But then you should realize that the Middle East isn't a quiet, stable area where everybody agrees with everybody. I mean, it was very far from it. There were government changes, there were revolutions that happened, wars easily broke out there, and then extremist groups appeared, religious tensions everywhere. And then each time there was instability in this region, the United States got pulled in, because for a superpower to actually be a superpower in the global space, it had to have control over the region. And not because every US president woke up dreaming of the Middle East, but because instability in this region could affect the world's entire economy. Think of a tripartite arrangement. On one end is conflict, on the other end is shipping lanes, and then on the tail end is oil prices that keep rising. And then there are fights or there are wars in this region that affected America's relationship there forever. We're talking about Iraq and Afghanistan. And people hoped or believed that these wars were going to solve security problems quickly. But the longer it went, the more the United States got drawn into long, exhausting wars that had no end. We're talking about thousands of lives that were lost, lots of money that was pulled into these wars. And people start asking, how did we get so deeply involved in this? And this is the strange part about power. The more influence a country gains in a region, the more difficult it is to walk away. Because right now, the United States have allies there, enemies there, military infrastructures there, trade concerns and security concerns as well. And it has stopped being a temporary relationship and it has started to become a permanent strategy. And so when people ask, why can't the United States just leave the Middle East alone? It's much more complicated than that. It's oil, it's alliances, it's fear, it's competition, it's global politics, it's wars. And now the region has become too connected to the modern world that no superpower can completely ignore. And this is what happens when a single region becomes connected or tied to global money, global energy, global influence, and global security. So that's it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for real world stories that are being broken down without confusion. I'm Miriama. Bye.